Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Bucket Ponds and my name's Terry. Thanks for watching before we get started. But yeah, today I am building the biggest pond that I have ever attempted. I've got the biggest bucket I could find, this giant kiddie pool, and it's going to be awesome. I'm going to bury the pond about halfway and then use all that sand and soil to build up a rim around it. And I think you're going to be impressed. We're going to have giant elephant ears, water taro, and all sorts of other plants in here. I am so happy. Just to give you an idea of how big this is going to be, I'm 6 foot tall, and this is my new pond. So it's going to be great. Here's my work partner. Yep. He's out here. He loves water. He loves to help out anytime I do these projects. Ain't that right, buddy? He's a big old kitty. And he was here when we bought the land when we moved in. So, he's part of the family. We got our top quality dollar store gloves here. Gotta have some gloves. To take a little break. This is very labor intensive, but I got my good old Mountain Dew here. We're about halfway done with digging it out, and let's finish it up. Looking like it might rain, so let's hope not. All right, there's our hole there. I half expected to hit that good old Georgia red clay, but didn't go down that far. That sand layer actually made it very easy to dig. And there's something I learned from submerging my bucket ponds in the ground is that it helps to insulate the pond and keep the temperature regular throughout the seasons. I'm a little winded, but there you have it. There's the beginnings of our pond. A rough hole. I'm going to put the kiddie pool, which is basically a nice pond liner. I'm going to drop that in there, build up the edge with some of this excess sand and soil. On the upside, I'll never have to buy pool filter sand again because I have gallons and gallons of this beautiful river sand. I'm so happy. There she is. Pretty much level. Sunk about 8 to 7, I'll say about 9 inches in the ground. I'm going to use the remaining soil to build up around it so that it's raised slightly. And I got to peel those stickers off. And we're about halfway done, guys. I am not as tired as I thought I would be. I'm a little bit winded though, to be honest. So I'm going to go ahead and build that back up around the edges. And we're going to look at what we got to do next. Alright, there she is. She's not perfect, but I'm pretty happy. Some of them stickers were hard to get off, but I'm not too worried about it. A little bit of contamination in a volume of water this big shouldn't matter too much. I've decided to skip the compost and instead just use this nice sand and a little bit of this soil to create the substrate layer and to give a place for my plants to root. So we're going to go ahead and throw some sand in there and get her nice. All right, now she's going to be a little murky at first, maybe really murky, but that's okay, it'll settle down. And we're going to have exactly what we want. I'm going for sort of a incline in the back, and that's where I want to plant most of my plants. I'm generally going to be looking at it from this direction. And the elephant ears and stuff I'm going to put in here are going to be really big, so I don't want to have them blocking my own view. We're going to let it fill up for now, and I'm going to grab some of our plants. These are giant elephant ears, by the way. But overall, they are very, very easy to transplant, very easy to work with. And I should have brought my small shovel over here. Oh, but I wanted to film the transplant process. And there she is, ready to be planted. If you snoop around my channel, you'll actually find a video of me transplanting the giant 8-foot tall elephant ear plants. And that was a lot of fun. Alright, we're going to plant this guy right here and throw some sand on it. Get those roots covered. And I unfortunately will have to wait for this water to settle before we can get a good idea what she's going to look like. But I'm confident that if nothing else, these elephant ears and this water taro will do really well right here. They're very, very hardy plants. This one was growing right in one of my bucket ponds, and you can see the epic root structure it has developed. So it was definitely root bound to the bucket, and we need to transplant it to a bigger situation. It was more of an experiment to see if you could grow elephant ears in water with no soil. And yes, you can. I don't know how well you can see in this lighting, but we have a few bladder snail babies that included themselves on the plant, and that's wonderful. Probably a ton of other creatures in there as well. And that's great. We've already seeded the new pond with bladder snails. We also have a water spider that I saw, and that's pretty cool. We're almost full up now. I'm gonna get one more elephant ear to place in here, and we should be ready to roll. She'll have to sit for a while and settle, and I'll have to clean up some of this dirt out here. But that's the beginnings of our brand new pond. Alright. There's a betony plant growing right alongside this elephant ear here. Oh, I actually set up these 3 underground ponds here on video a while back. Fans will probably remember that video. Oh. Oh, look at the root structure on that baby. I'm gonna go quick so we don't lose too much of these waterborne creatures that are in here. This one's wanting to float, which makes sense as it was growing in an entirely aquatic situation. Alright, so it's a couple hours later, I'm back. The water is pretty murky. And that's alright. But we have something unexpected. A mole cricket has wandered into the pond. This always seems to happen when I bury ponds. I don't know why they do that, but the pond looks nice. I'm doing a little bit of a water change right now, trying to get some of those floating fragments off the surface before we apply duckweed and all that stuff. But I need to ensure that the water will overflow to this side and not over there so much. So we're just going to dig out a little bit underneath it right here. And I need to pile up some rocks here so the soil doesn't wash out too awful much, which it probably will. That's what we want. Alright guys, so we are back. This is 3 days later after setup. I'm just adding some fresh water here and letting some of the other water overflow off the side. It's still not as clear as I would like, but I should have rinsed that sand out before I threw it in there, so that's my fault. But I think it'll clear up decent enough. And today we're going to increase the hardness of this water as we prepare for Nutella for macroalgae. Somebody's got the bag there. To do that, we have our Vigoro marble chunks, which I'm going to throw my entire bag that I have left in there. Hey, buddy. There's the bag. These are actual decorative marble chips by Vigoro. I use them in my tanks all the time. And the Nutella needs hard water to grow. So I think this is our best bet. We're going to add a whole half a bag of marble chips in here. And that should, over time, increase the hardness. first up, I want to plant some more of the giant elephant ears there in the drainage area. This little makeshift plant pot I put here, it's not going to do it. It's just not going to work. It's going to help, but I'm going to end up planting those plants in and around the pond anyway. So we're going to grab some of our giant elephant ears and plant them right there in that hole. Alright, so we've added a few more elephant ears, those larger stumps in the back. They look pretty bad right now, but as things warm up out here, they're going to get pretty impressive. And they're all the same species, but they're good at drinking up a lot of water, and I need that right there just so I don't wash away my little soil bank we built up here. I still need to polish it a little bit, and maybe put some grass seed out here. But I'm going to consider most of the outside landscaping pretty much done. Grass will grow up and cover the sand, make it pretty nice after a while. And we might accelerate that process. But for now, I think we're ready for our Nutella macroalgae, at least for our first batch, to see if we can't get to take in here. Probably pretty hard to see in this lighting outside here. But that's Nutella macroalgae in one of my rope jars, growing in my farm aquarium. Tons of duckweed and stuff in there as well. This is going to be our main filtration for the pond. And I'm going to put it back here. You can see some I moved the container that was here, but I kept the creeping Jenny. And some of these other little grasses and weed plants down here. And there's our purple heart plant. That looks good. I think it'll do well here. Spread out a little bit, and we'll have some more to plant around the giant elephant ears. But with the Nutella here, you see it's like it's kind of like hair, big strands. This stuff is great at capturing little particles and clearing water, which is what we want. And I'm also just in love with this macroalgae. But we're not going to do anything fancy. You see a bunch of bladder snails dispersing from the Nutella. We're just going to pin it down with a couple of these rocks down here. A couple of these marble stones that we threw in the pond. Might be a little blurry down there now. But we're going to do it again. You see the Nutella. It's very fresh. It just came out of my tank, out of my aquarium. And it smells like some kind of delicious garlic, but it's loaded with all sorts of paramecium, bladder snails, all of our little pets. You can see maybe here in the shallow spot. And we're just spreading it out a little bit and pinning it with a few rocks. The duckweed grows with it, so it's fine. But this stuff can also spread just by little fragments breaking up in the water, sticking onto boats and things like that. So in that spirit, we're just going to dump the rest in there and spread it out a little bit. Yeah, it might look a little funky right now, but I promise you it's going to be great. Well, alright, there she is for now. We've added larger elephant ears in the back. I planted some grasses and some other things around the pond. Also included some small water taro plants. Which are like tiny versions of the giant elephant ears. They're a little different, but they look pretty similar. There's another one over there. There's another one over there. But they're going to grow in a very similar way, and they look very similar too. So it's water taro and giant elephant ears in here, along with that patch over there of my Nutella macroalgae, which is amazing. It should help filter the particles out of this water and get it much clearer. And we've also added a fair amount of duckweed and some pondweed that came in with the water taro as well. But that's it for today. But I think here in a few days it'll be ready for fish. And we're going to have beautiful, no filtration, no pumps, nothing out here, just a beautiful planted pool pond. And it'll look a lot better once the grasses and my other plants start to spread around the outside of it. Well, alright guys, there we go. It's about 2 weeks later, and the pond is developing nicely. I went ahead and put some mosquito fish in there. I planted giant elephant ears all the way around, well, at least on the back side. And they're starting to grow pretty nice. Keep in mind this is right after winter. This is right after winter, so the plants are a little stunted still. But they're making a nice recovery, and the pond is looking pretty good. We have a green water situation going on, and some pollen, but that's okay. I'm confident in the tank's ability to deal with it. We have here some of our beloved bladder snails doing what they do, working on this leaf. But they're in here, and they're going to be part of the pond. I've always wanted to have a big pond project like this, and I'm very, very happy with it. She's not the crystal clear, artificial type setup that you might have expected, but I never set out to create something like that. We may or may not see the fish in here. There's only a few. I added one trio of mosquito fish, 2 males and 1 female. Now we might not see them because they're there though. They're pretty skittish. I might be able to get some shots over time as they breed and reproduce for us. But overall, there's my pond. My first, well, my second real pond here. We have some duckweed and some Nutella macroalgae. There's even some pond scum in there. Yes, I included pond scum. Spike rush. There's some water lettuce. Lots of good stuff. Some floating leaf pondweed right there. One of our nice taro plants. We have water taro and giant elephant ears in here. One easy way to tell the difference between water taro and elephant ears is by the shape of the leaf. Water taro looks a bit like that, and elephant ears look like that. You see how the V shape comes all the way to the middle, to the stem on the elephant ear, and on the water taro it goes towards the middle, but it stops. So that's one easy way to tell. You're okay, buddy. I planted some purple heart out here that's doing really well, along with some strange grass. I don't know what it's called, but I brought it over here as well. The elephant ears look rough right now, but they are growing. That's a brand new leaf forming right there. And in the winter, these elephant ears will shed all of their leaves. And then as the weather warms up again, they're going to come back like they're doing right now. Here's some more baby elephant ears that I added. We added quite a few here. And there's some really nice creeping jenny that I planted out here. I'm going to eventually plant creeping jenny all the way around and let it grow naturally. But for now, for my first real pond, just starting out, well, my second real pond, just starting out, I think it's beautiful. I'm very happy, and we have a lot to look forward to in the future. Oop. Oop, there's one of the mosquito fish. They are in there. We might not see them too well. They're generally pretty skittish fish. Check out the pond, guys. I know it looked a little rough at first, but it's warming up. All my plants are starting to pop out. Oh man, it looks great. It's going to be beautiful out here. I've got lily pads planted in here, water taro, giant elephant ear, Nutella, macroalgae, pistia, water lettuce, duckweed, water meal, mud midget. I could go down the list. Pondweed, Wedelia, Dayflower. I've got all kinds of stuff out here, man. I am just so happy. This is going to be a beautiful little tropical zone right here in my backyard, built by me. I'm thrilled, man. $20 giant pool pond that I got for free using a bunch of coupons and some smart shopping. Alright guys, so that's it. That's my new pond. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe if you do. And I'm aware that this video was kind of long, but it was a lot of fun to make. And yeah, I'll see you next time. This is Bucket Ponds. My name is Terry, and that's what we do.